want you to take a moment, breathe in, fill your lungs with all of that pure air that we have around us, and then exhale. I want you to make sure that you have with you, it's either pencil, pen, or a notebook to write down all of the questions that you're going to have through the workshop so we can answer them further on. And also, I want you to pay really close attention to what our really, really greatest presenter, Angela Rodriguez, has for us. So let's start just with this workshop. And I just want to thank you again for being here with us. And I just want to open the microphone and the whole stage to Angela Rodriguez. Hi, Angela, welcome.
Thank you, Cynthia. Hello, everybody. I'm glad to see your names in the chat list. Those of you who are here with us live, I feel like I haven't seen you in a few weeks, so I'm happy to be here. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so that you can see as we go along here. And let's see. I might have to do that one more time. I'm working with a different computer, so just bear with me with my technological clumsiness today, because it's been, here we go, I think we need this one. Share. My buttons are different than they normally are, so we did a practice round, but it still feels like
we can see your
do this one more time. You can see my screen, but my notes are not up. Can you see it still?
No.
You can, okay, let's see. I just have to get the presenter view back up and then we should be okay. Can you still see my screen?
No.
It's down again. Okay, so sorry about that. Let's do minimize, share. Okay, try this again.
There we can see the whole.
You can see like, okay. So then this should fix it if we start again from 0. Okay.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, and you can still see full screen. Perfect. Yes, we're good to go. All right. Thank you so much for your patience. We've had a few extra clicks to go through here. Okay. So today I am here to share with you some really fun aromatherapy tips for emotional well-being. So we recently had a really amazing workshop with a Master in Science in Alternative Therapies and Aromatherapy, Ana Lilia Velasquez from Mexico City. She did a really fun workshop for us in Spanish, taught us so many new things. For those of you who are new consultants or new customers, or even if you're a pro and have been in this business for a long time, she was able to give us lots of fun new tips that we can use for our emotional well-being. As we know that we know that this is a huge need for a lot of us at home, but also for so many people in our network, in our community. We're talking about stress and insomnia and feeling down and things like that, and how aromatherapy can be a really, really powerful tool to supplement other things that people might already be doing for their emotional well-being. But the aromatherapy is such a direct link into our brain that can really help us regulate our emotions. So we'll be talking about more that emotional side. We know that essential oils are also really great for a lot of physical things, right? Like I'm using it right now for my allergies. I have thyme cream everywhere for my allergy symptoms, things like that. But today we're going to focus on the emotional aspect. So just make sure that you are conscientious about your environment. Are you able to focus during this time? Take a few quick steps to make sure that you can have your quiet, focused space with us. Make sure that you have your aromatherapy set ready. We'll be able to do things with the basic or the pro set. So whichever one you have available, even if you don't have that whole set yet, grab your essential oils and your carriers that you do have so far and see if you can do some of these activities with us as well. And just try to take away some information, not only for yourself, but also for your family family and your friends, and the people that you run into. That's a lot of us that are here with Used working as consultants. We love to share this message with other people when we see that they're struggling with this emotional well-being, when they're tired and stressed and things like that. So try to just take those mental notes for yourself and for others to keep sharing that message. And so here today, let me see, is there anything else I wanted to share with you for reminders? And like Cynthia already said, just have a pencil and paper or a pen so that you can write down some notes. Feel free to take screenshots. We'll have this recorded for future use as well. And we will be keeping an eye on the chat. So if you do have questions, I will try to answer the best I can. And if there's anything I want to refer to Anna later, we can get you those answers later as well. So, okay, so let's talk a little bit about Used and what habits we already have with that for our emotional well-being. Go ahead and share in the chat. What is something that you already incorporate into your daily routine using aromatherapy with your Used products to help improve your emotional well-being? So something like, I use this so that this feels better, right? Because today we're really talking about things that we can do on a daily basis and based on our needs every day to create an atmosphere that isn't going to repress those emotions, right? Sometimes we have these emotions that we consider negative, right? We don't want to like push those away and try to hide them. We want to be able to give ourselves the space in our environment, in our routine to feel them and to let them flow freely. So that's really a big emphasis today, is we're not trying to say like, oh, I'm feeling anxious, so I'm going to squash that down so that I feel better. Like, I'm going to take those emotions, reflect on them, allow myself to feel them. But aromatherapy is going to help me be able to regulate and process them much more easily, which is going to be helpful in a lot of situations in our everyday life. So when we are talking about aromatherapy, you know, it's a lot like, think of like all the aromas that your brain reacts to in your everyday life, right? Like if I smell chocolate chip cookies, I'm automatically thinking about my maternal grandmother, because that was like her golden thing, like that was her thing, right? She was she had the perfect chocolate chip cookie recipe. And every time I smell chocolate chip cookies, I think of her. Or maybe when you smell certain flowers, like I know if I smell lilac or lavender outside, like that automatically just puts a smile on my face. And it makes me think of summer because I live in Wisconsin and we only have flowers so many months of the year, right? Things like that. Or maybe you walk into a work environment and maybe even if it's not an aroma, maybe you feel kind of like the energy in a place, right? Maybe everyone's tense and crabby and frustrated about something. We can feel that and our brain is going to react to that, right? So aromatherapy is something where we're not talking rocket science. We're saying our brain reacts to aromas. And what it does is when we're using aromatherapy with high quality essential oils, we're basically putting some molecules into the air that have these plant compounds that are going to go in through our respiratory system or into our bloodstream through our skin. But with aromatherapy, we're talking more through our respiratory system, right? So we're breathing it in, and that's going to stimulate our brain. And our brain is going to help our brain produce the hormones and these chain reactions in our body to help us feel better, right? So certain aromas create different reactions in our brain, therefore different reactions in our body. So today we're really going to talk about what are those different benefits, those healing components that, that we can get from aromas, from high quality essential oils like those that we have at Used. Also, we're going to talk about kind of let me see, the different situations in which you can share these different aromas and where they would be most appropriate. Think of it as like, I'm trying to think, what are some of the aromas that would most remind you of different things? Like maybe you smell chamomile, and a lot of people tell me when they smell chamomile, they think of babies because it's in a lot of baby products. They think of their grandma, they think of like snuggles and comfort. Lavender, they feel relaxed. With mint, they feel refreshed and alert. With lemon, it tells our brain that something is clean and it kind of wakes us up, right? So these aromas do things in our brain that we are, already, those connections are already there for us. And our body really responds to those aromas, and that sense of well-being that they invoke really spreads to the rest of our body, because our brain is what's sending messages to the rest of our body, right? So once our mind, and think of it as like, once our mind is in that happy, content state that we can achieve with the right kind of aromatherapy, that can help a lot of our other bodily functions. Once you're in that content, happy zone in your brain, a lot of times your breathing is more calm, your heart rate is more regulated, a lot of our other bodily functions, even our digestion and everything, starts to work better because our brain is in the right state of mind. Yes. And all of this is happening because of those tiny little molecules that are coming from the aromas that are entering through our respiratory system and starting that chain reaction in our body. So sometimes people ask me, but is aromatherapy, isn't it just like a placebo effect? And the truth is, it is a molecular reaction that's happening in our body. So yes, they smell great, but it's also, there's a chemical component to it that is really making things happen in our body. And the really cool thing is we can use them at home, and just like, there's a lot of us that have diffusers going. We apply essential oils as part of our daily routine, but we can also use them as complementary therapies to a lot of other things that you might be doing with energy therapies like Reiki, Tai Chi, yoga, maybe massage, things like that. Those can all be enhanced with aromatherapy. So that's a way to really spread that to your community and people that you are working with as well. And the nice thing is that aromatherapy can really be for the whole family. So when we're using pharmaceutical grade pure essential oils like those that we get at Used, and we're following the safety instructions, we are working with an authorized consultant to get good information about how to use them, things like that. It's a really safe practice to have going on at your home and to help everyone in your family feel better. So even though these are really high quality products, they're coming from nature, right? Like they're the essence of plants that we're working with. There are really some specific safety protocols that we should follow when using essential oils, because, just like anything else, these are highly concentrated substances that we don't want to just like toss around. We want to know how to use them correctly to get the best results and to really take care of ourselves. So the first thing is make sure that when you're using pure essential oils, like what we get at Used, they need to be diluted properly. So that means we are putting them in a diffuser. A good ratio to start with is for a 100 milliliters of water, which is about half a cup, I believe. You want to start with 3 to 5 drops of essential oil to 100 mils of water. Some people can do 5 to 7. Some people tolerate slightly more than that, but I would say 3 to 5 or 5 to 7 is a good ratio of drops of total essential oil to start with in your diffuser. So 100 mils of water, 3 to 7 drops is a good place to start. You don't want to overwhelm your system. Another way that we dilute our essential oils is with carriers. So a lot of you are probably already familiar with our Aroma Blends carriers. We have a lotion, the body oil, the body mist, and this is going to help you create that solution that is appropriate to then apply to your skin or, spray in the air, etc. And also we want to make sure that we're not, so like I said, that kind of goes along with it. Don't apply pure essential oils directly on your skin. There are a few essential oils like lavender and tea tree that can go directly on our skin in small amounts. And with Used, a lot of our blends like the anti-stress blend, Guducci blend, things like that can be applied in small amounts directly on the skin. They've been designed for that purpose. However, with pure essential oils, you're working with pure mint, pure patchouli, things like that. You're going to make sure that you use them in a diffuser or carrier. Another important thing about aromatherapy is that the essential oils will work best when you form synergies or blends of them. So you usually want to do like 2 or 3 different oils, and you're going to create your own blends based on your own emotional needs that you have at that time. And that way you kind of get the most out of them because you can combine different properties in your own synergy or blend. It's a good thing to start with 2 or 3. If you start adding more than 3, sometimes you can lose your aromas and it doesn't work quite as well. So that's another great way to use them. And just remember, for when you are creating your blends or you're just storing your essential oils, we want to make sure to keep them in a cool, dry place and away from light. So when you get your essential oils from Used, keep these little boxes if you can. Keep the little boxes so that you're keeping the bottles away from light, because you will see that the bottles are amber colored, and they're a nice dark amber color to try to protect our oil properties as much as they can. But when you also put them in a box, you keep them in the box, you keep them in a cool, dry place, you keep them away from noise and sunlight and oxygen exposure. A lot of us even keep them in like a little wooden box, so that gives us some extra protection. But you want to make sure that you are using them correctly and storing them correctly so that you're protecting your investment. When you're getting good oils, they're going to last a nice long time, but you do want to keep them away from sunlight, oxygen, sound, etc. And another important piece is do not ingest essential oils. There seems to be debate about this out in the world. This is one of the things that really sold me on Used. So I was like, finally, an oil company that's not promoting the ingestion of oils, because really, when we're using aromatherapy, when we're using essential oils for our well-being, the way they work in our body is through our respiratory system, through our olfactory, right? So through our respiratory system, when we breathe them in and breathe in the aromas, that sends those messages to our brain, and through our bloodstream, through our skin, when we're using them in appropriate amounts, diluting them, etc. But there is no need to put essential oils into our digestive system by ingesting them, because they'll be absorbed quickly into our bloodstream, but if they do make it through your mouth and all the way down through your intestinal area, they're not sending those messages as quickly to your brain. It's kind of slowing down the whole process, and they can really irritate your digestive system. So we do not ingest them. We don't want to mess around with that, especially with pure essential oils. They're just super concentrated substances that shouldn't go inside our body. The safe way to use them is respiratory and on our skin. Okay. And then another thing is, if you are using a new essential oil, even if you've been using other essential oils for a long time, anytime you're using a new essential oil, always do a quick allergy test to make sure that your body doesn't have an immune response to it. It's not very common to be allergic to essential oils. I am a person who's allergic to so many fragrances. I have to use fragrance-free everything else in my life, but I have never had a reaction to any of our essential oils, which is they're just a different, it's not an artificial perfume. So, but you do still want to be careful, especially if you have highly reactive skin. So what you do is you just go to the inner wrist area and put just 1 drop of the oil there. And you want to leave that for 30 minutes and then come back and check and make sure that your skin still looks hydrated. It's not bumpy, it's not irritated. And that means that your body has not had that immune response to that oil. So make sure that for you as consultants too, make sure that your customers know that when we start a new oil, do the quick allergy test to make sure that it is a happy match for our body. And also just always respect warnings. We as consultants have access to lots of manuals and really specific information that says, use it this way. These are the recommended uses. Don't use it if you have this condition, etc. And so if you're a customer, definitely always ask for those manuals, and your consultant can share them with you. They're available on your consultant's personal website for most products. And that way you can just get really well educated about each oil that you're using and make sure that it's appropriate for you. So any questions at this point, go ahead and share them in the chat. But those are kind of our main best practices for using aromatherapy safely. Okay. And so a lot of times people ask me, like, why Used? Here in the United States, there's a lot of people who haven't heard of this brand, and they ask me, like, why Used? Why this company? And there are a lot of reasons why so many of us have chosen this Swiss miracle company. Yes. So when we're talking about essential oils, right, it's the essence of a plant. There are many ways to extract them, but here's where Used's 90+ years of experience really come in, where they're using the best methods for extracting those key properties from the plants and keeping those properties stable so that they're actually doing what we say they do. The bottles even and the containers that they're using matter, like the tone of the amber bottles, the seals, the way the droppers come out, all of that really matters to conserve the properties of these essential oils. I was in Mexico recently, and I was in a market, and I saw like a little table set out, and they were trying to sell essential oils, like just in these little clear bottles, not amber colored bottles, just sitting out in the sunlight in the middle of the plaza. And I was like, oh no, that's not going to work. Don't buy those. I wanted to tell everyone, like, don't buy them. They're not protected. They're not sealed. They're not in like this proper packaging. So it's really important to know that someone is watching out for the quality and preparation of your essential oils. And so that's another great thing about use is when we're using pharmaceutical grade, that means they're tested similarly to medication. So there's a really specific controlled process. They're checked not only by use by the company itself, but also by several outside institutions that are verifying that there aren't other contaminants, that everything is as pure as they want it to be. And so we can really trust the quality, not just even trusting the company, but also the institutions that are providing those other outside tests. And for a lot of us, it's also important, since we're focusing on nature and all living things, that the products are never tested on animals. So go ahead and share in the chat, those of you who are here with us, what is your favorite thing about use that really keeps you here, that brought you here, that helps you love these products even more? Those are just some of the things that really set use apart in the essential oil world. And let's see, I want to go back to this really important point of why should essential oils not be ingested? So because this is, like I said, a big point of debate for a lot of people. And I just wanted to give like this quick explanation of why they shouldn't be adjusted. So think of it as like when you're out in the garden, those of you who have gardens going on right now, do you have rosemary, sage, lavender, some of these herbal plants that we really love their aroma, and we know that they have all these great health benefits. And if you were to look really closely at them, if you had a chance, maybe with a microscope, you would see that they kind of have all these little fuzzy little kind of hairs on them, right? And when we look at those on a microscope, think of it as like the little tiny hairs that are on those leaves have a little tip on them, and that is where the essential oil is stored in those. So think of it as like one drop of that, how many of those plants are processed to create this highly concentrated essential oil that we get in our little bottles, right? It's hundreds to thousands of plants that go into one of these bottles, right? So when we're talking about one drop of this, that is super concentrated plant power. That's not cooking with rosemary. That's not cooking with thyme, right? Like this is really concentrated plant power where it's been processed down to get the concentrated liquid gold that it is. So when we want to use those tiny little molecules are going to go quickly into the air, go through our nose, get into our brain quickly through our respiratory system. And that's where our brain starts to do the magic that is aromatherapy. But like we said, once it goes into our mouth, that whole process is slow and it can be dangerous because it can cause irritation, right? So we do not want to put essential oils into our body. We want to keep them through our respiratory system and our skin. Okay. Any other questions about that? Feel free to add them into our chat. And those of you who have felt the magic, like like I said, people have asked about it. Is it a placebo effect? And the fact is that our aroma stimulates our brain. It stimulates our limbic system, which is responsible for our emotions. And then our nervous system just sends out the messages to other parts of our body. So even your stomach hurts, that doesn't mean you need to put something into your stomach. Your brain is in charge of your stomach too, right? So when we have an aroma like chamomile, we breathe it in, it sends that message to our brain. Our brain can send that message to our stomach and help it calm down, right? So it's really powerful stuff, and it's kind of hard for people to believe sometimes, but there's science behind it, and it's just this beautiful chain reaction that happens in our body, okay? And there's no organ not connected to our brain in our body, right? Therefore, there is no part of our body that cannot benefit from aromatherapy in some way, shape, or form, even when it's just smelling the aromas and not even applying it on our body. So our focus area for today with aromatherapy is the harmonious flow of emotions. We want to really help people avoid the repression of emotions, which I feel like is very common in our culture because we just have to keep going. We have a lot to do. We have to accomplish all these things. We don't have time for emotions, right? Give me a one in the chat if you've noticed that about our culture here in the US. So this can be a really important message to share with other people. Is you have these emotions. We don't want to necessarily label them as good or bad. It's okay to feel them. And we can use aromatherapy to help it flow freely so that we can move on and work through them. Yes. So when we are working with this, it's really important to use those synergies or those blends of essential oils to get the maximum effects from it, right? So when we're blending essential oils, a really easy way to start is to blend similar oils. So you can blend flower oils with flower oils. You can blend herbal with herbal. You can blend citrus with citrus, etc. Right? That's a really easy way to do your blends. And you're going to see a lot of examples of that today. So especially if you're a beginner with aromatherapy, just keep that in mind. Just pick two. You can do 2 or 3 essential oils, but try to pick from the same group of herbal, like stuff with green leaves and green stems, citrus, which are like the fruits that are coming from those plants, or floral, obviously. So that's a really easy rule to just, sometimes we're not really sure where to start, and that's a good place to just feel like you can safely blend and you're going to like those aromas. Okay, so let's get ready for our first kind of examples of how to use this aromatherapy for emotional well-being. So everything we do today can be done with the basic or advanced aromatherapy set. Hopefully a lot of you already have those at home, so you can follow along with us. One of the things that we're going to do is create a body mist. This is a really easy, practical way to create your own personalized blends and take it along with you. So you can take your aromatherapy along with you. You can spray it on your wrist, on the inside of your elbow, on your chest. You can spray it in your hair. You can spray it on your curtains. You can spray it on your pajamas, on your sheets if you want, right? Like on your bedding, etc. This is something that you can use everywhere. You can spray it in the air. You can start your shower, and when the steam starts to come up, you spray this and it just sits in with your steam. Oh my gosh, that's my favorite way to use a lot of my sprays. I use my Eucosol spray with that and some of my personal blends as well, so that your shower, which is already very revitalizing, helps you feel even better. Now, we're also going to talk about how to create some different blends using our body oil. So our body oil obviously is great for massage. It's this nice thicker solution, really great emollients for your skin so that it feels super soft and silky. But it also, this thicker solution in the body oil is going to help you extend the time of a massage. It's going to also help us for our roll-on blends. It's a little bit, if you're going to create your own personal roll-ons, this is a really nice way because it's just a little bit thicker solution so that it doesn't come out so fast in the roll-ons. And it helps you moderate the amount that comes out. So it is a little bit of like an oilier solution than the body mist, right? The body mist is an echinacea-based solution. This does have lots of carrier oils and nourishing oils in it, so the feeling will be slightly different, but it's a great option for making roll-ons. So these are also ways for you to create your blends and share them with other people, because you carry your roll-on and your spray along with you as you go along, and you can share it with other people. So we wanted to go over a few things too, since some of you might have some new oils with you in your aromatherapy sets. I wanted to just share a couple of quick tips of how to experience them during this process. So if you have a new oil, this one was actually new to me this week because back when I started Used, we didn't have fresh in stock at the time, and it has just come back. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I lived without this for so long. So when I am going to experience a new essential oil, like my good high quality oils from Used, I'm going to keep them in their boxes, right, when I'm not using them. But as I take it out, I'm going to open the cover, and I'm going to make sure to only open one of my oils at a time. And here's why. If I start blending oils, or I'm going to smell 5 of them at one time, I don't want to mix up this cap from this oil with another one, because I'm going to start contaminating my aromas with others. Yes. So just make sure that you're aware of that, that you're going to You're going to experience one aroma or use it for your blend, and then you're going to put the cap on tightly, put it in its box, and store it in your safe place, and then move on to the next. So just take your time, do your thing, take good care of your oils. And another thing, these are highly concentrated, as we know, so we don't want to just like stick it right up to our nose and take a big whiff because it's strong, and we don't want to irritate our nose with some of the oils that are going to be, you know, like peppermint and things like that, that can also just cause, they can be like a little bit too much and make your eyes water, right? So when you're using this, I want you to go ahead and just hold it in front of your face, give yourself a little space here, and you're just going to, like you're a chef at a fancy restaurant, just like wafting the aroma of your soup, right? Like that's what we're going to do. So you hold it in front, like this far in front, and you just have to waft. Because these are tiny little molecules that are going to go up into the air really quickly. I mean, it's beyond any other kind of aroma that you've probably experienced, right? They go right into the air really quickly, and you're going to be able to experience the true aroma that way, versus if I were to just like take a big sniff right up close to my nose, it's not quite as soothing as one would hope. Yes. Okay. So that's one quick tip just to make sure that you're aware of. Another thing is when we are adding our oils into our solutions, the best way is to put your bottle at a diagonal and tap the bottom to count your drops. You will notice that some oils are thicker than others, so some will come out fast and some will come out more slowly. Sometimes with some of the thicker oils, I found that I have to kind of rearrange my little, there's like a little pipette kind of thing that comes down in here. I have to rearrange that so that the thicker, like geranium is a really thick one, so that moves. So that's just a couple of quick tips to make sure that you're controlling your drops is diagonal, tap, tap, tap. Yes? Okay. And let's see, any other tips? I think that should be it in terms of getting us prepared. Another thing that I have with me in my workspace today is like these little mini funnels. So if any of those of you who sometimes buy, like I buy extra amber colored roll-on bottles from like Amazon, or, you know, like I buy online, these often come with those little sets. So look for those online. And you can also get these a lot of times like at the dollar store. So these are nice for controlling your pour with your carriers, especially if you're a clumsy person like me, or if you just need, you know, a little bit more precision in your workspace. Okay, so we are ready to roll with our set. And I'm going to start giving you some of the examples of different oils you can blend. So make sure that if you see something that really applies to you or someone you know, you take a screenshot or you write down the essential oil pairing and what it's for, so that you have that as kind of like your encyclopedia of aromatherapy to use later. So we're going to start by mixing similar oils, which will be herbal with herbal. So again, herbal oils would be things that have like green stems and green leaves, basically. And they do have like an herbal scent, right? Like the aroma is specific to these. And a lot of times we use herbal oils to kind of give us like strength, to fortify us, to make us feel stronger. And there are lots of different combinations that you'll be able to use to find your perfect blend. So when we're talking about, let's see, eucalyptus, for example. Eucalyptus is a great essential oil for when we have this kind of sadness, we're feeling stuck, we have to kind of get past something. It's actually, we use this a lot of times for like respiratory care and feeling alert, but it has really great emotional benefits for example, if you feel like your emotions get stuck and you're like, I need a good cry, but it won't come out. Eucalyptus is really good for getting things flowing and moving again. So write that down, because that's something that I didn't know before this workshop that we just had recently, and I was like, oh, I've never thought to use it for that. So that is an unexpected emotional benefit of eucalyptus that we don't always think about. We use it so much for respiratory care, we kind of forget all the other things that it can be helpful for. Rosemary is a really great kind of workplace essential oil. It's great for work stress when you're struggling to concentrate or learn something new. You have a new project or a challenge and you need to kind of like build you up. You're like, I can handle this, I can do this. Rosemary is great for that. Yes. Oops. Another really helpful herbal aroma is Palmarosa. It has kind of like a dewy rose-like aroma to it. This one is really great for like, oh, like this would, I should have put this on my little diffuser necklace for today, for a presentation where you want to feel like calm and strong and confident during your presentation, Palmarosa is great for that. Like, I'm calm and I can do this, and people are going to want to hear what I have to say and things like that. So that's a really good one for presentations when you want to be calm, cool, and collected and ready to go. We also use peppermint a lot in the workplace, especially for that focus, that mental clarity. You want to be able to express your feelings. You want to feel ready to go. You're ready to say things. You don't want to have to hold things back. You're ready. That is another great use of mint. So make sure you're taking note of any of those. You're like, oh yeah, I could use that in this area of my day. Okay, now we're also going to talk about how we can blend citrus with citrus to get really great joy and happiness emotional benefits, right? And now we know that joy and happiness do not just come in a bottle, right? Like, it's close, but joy and happiness is a very big topic. But what happens is with citrus oils, a lot of times they're going to send that message into our brain to help us, stimulate things like endorphins, etc. And endorphins do help us feel happy. So citrus oils are kind of like magical happiness in a bottle, if it were that simple. And there's lots of ways to combine them. And this is also another great one for in our home or in our workplace, because it helps us have less conflict. You'll notice that when we have citrus oils in the environment, people are more willing to listen to each other and work together, accept other ideas, etc., because our brain is in a happier place. So when we're using citrus oils, I would say lemon and orange are ones that I am constantly refilling at my home because they blend so well with so many other things, and they smell great, and they have such a profound impact on my state of being. So lemon is great for things like someone has irritability, things aren't going their way, they have to keep working through it because maybe you would really like a break, but it's only 1 p.m. and you still have a few hours to go. Lemon can help you find your inspiration again. This is great if you're like a writer or you have some creative project going on and you need that inspiration. It's a great way to get your brain moving in that creative space again. And like lemon and bergamot, which are also mood lifters, it helps relieve sadness and promotes like your confidence and your concentration as well. Then when we use orange is a great calming, no conflict kind of essential oil. So it's going to help eliminate irritability. It helps us relax. This is a good one for if you feel like people are like butting heads a lot and you want to be able to listen and negotiate with each other. This is great for making those difficult decisions with other people. And like I said, those blend really well with a lot of different essential oils. Now, bergamot is another one of my favorites. Bergamot is a great mood lifter. It helps us be more optimistic, to see the brighter side of things. When we're facing difficulties, we're tired, but we're trying to keep moving, right? This is one that really helps us feel those emotions, get over that hump, let those things flow freely, and help us see the brighter side of things, have that kind of sweetness, happiness. You get to observe what's going on around you. That really helps get your brain in that more optimistic state of mind. And then mandarin, which is the one that we just started getting back here in the United States, it helps. It's kind of like orange, where it has that really calming, beautiful, harmonious feel. It's great for encouraging and comforting, lifting spirits, but it also relaxes that mental overstimulation or hyperactivity. This is really helpful to diffuse in areas where kids are trying to wind down. So it's sometimes that their brains are just going. It's hard to find their calm state. So this is one that will be used really well in an area with kids. Yes? Okay. Now, I want you to take a moment. Citrus oils are one of my favorite. Do any of you have a new citrus oil that you haven't had in a while? Because I know we just got some back in. Like mandarin is a great one. Grab a citrus oil from your collection, or you can grab one of your herbals, since we already talked about those as well. And I just want you to take a moment to take a deep breath and enjoy one, because we're going through our presentation and your brain just might need a quick stimulus. So I'm going to do orange because I'm in presenter mode, and sometimes when I'm in presenter mode, I'm like talking too fast, or orange is going to be a good calming, comforting citrus aroma. If you're feeling tired or like, come on, Angie, wrap this up, maybe grab some bergamot or some lemon and try that as well. If your kids are running around in the background and you'd like them to be like more calm and quiet in the background, grab some mandarin, maybe throw that in your diffuser and help them find their calm mental state. Mine are upstairs and I didn't even put mandarin and they've been so calm and quiet right now. I don't even want, maybe I just jinxed it, but go ahead and enjoy one of your citrus oils and then we will continue. Okay. All right. Now, our last round here is we want to talk about floral oils and how they really can be helpful in terms of finding that sound peace of mind, right? To help us feel more complete. Those of you who are gardeners and just love to spend time out in your garden because those flowers, you probably just, you feel it, you just smell the aroma of flowers and it's like it fills your whole soul up, right? It's difficult to get them to bloom. They're hard work. We have to maintain them, but they're this beautiful gift from nature that our body really reacts to, not only because they're beautiful, but because of all the aromas and the reactions that they create in our brain. So when we are using floral oils, we get really profound effects for our mood. We all know lavender is a key essential oil to have at home, very relaxing. It is a mild sedative. So this is one that can help you, it makes you feel kind of sleepy. It promotes restful sleep. Great for use in the evening, maybe not in the morning as you're trying to get ready for work, right? And it helps us kind of move those negative feelings through, help them flow more freely so that we can let go of our stress at the end of the day and relax, okay? Lavender is great blended with citrus oils. If you feel like you're kind of feeling pessimistic at some point, lavender with lemon or bergamot, those mood lifters kind of help you calm and uplift your mood. Geranium is another one that we use a lot for women and men when we need to balance our mood. So women, we kind of get the bad rep, right? Of like, we need it because of hormonal changes and things like that. But we all sometimes experience mood swings where they change quickly, and it could be something from our environment. It could be something hormonal, and they really help us feel those emotions and let them flow more freely without having such drastic swings in between them. So geranium is really powerful. We use it a lot in our talks about women care, but also for men. Another one that we talk a lot about for kind of its feminine properties is jasmine. Jasmine, think of jasmine is its properties are focused on sensuality, but sensuality again is used in multiple contexts. So you can think of it as it just helps us feel the life going on around us. It helps our brain kind of take things in a more positive way. So it's great for connecting with others. It's great for romance, but it's also great for people who are feeling insecure, not sure, not willing to try new things. Kind of helps us open up and take everything in. Also, chamomile is another essential oil that both of these are known for their like strong aromas that they can really affect our brain, right? They can really pull us in. And chamomile is a great one for comfort. So we use it for physical properties such as like upset stomach and things like that, but it's really also good for acceptance, connection. Chamomile is a good one if someone has experienced a loss, or whether it's a loved one or work or something like that. If they need kind of like an aroma hug, right? They need that comfort. Chamomile is great for that. Chamomile is another one that we also use in a lot of our products designed for kids because of their calming, comforting properties. And you'll notice that with things like a lot of our floral blends, some people don't want to use floral blends because they are stronger, right? Like jasmine, neroli, chamomile, geranium. The floral blends are a more potent aroma that we sometimes need to train our nose for. So you start with small amounts of floral blends usually, and work your way up. And you can also blend them with citrus to kind of sweeten them up. So lemon, orange, bergamot, things like that are great to blend with floral oils. If you're someone who tends to resist them, give them a shot. They have great emotional benefits. Just start in small amounts and add citrus in as well until your nose adapts, because your nose will adapt. It's just that first for a lot of us, it can feel strong. Okay. And what we wanted to talk about floral oils too. Like I said, a lot of times we connect those as like, oh, women need floral oils. Women like floral oils. But remember that even though it's considered a feminine aroma, that does not mean it's just for women. Think about in our society, how many times people are people tried to place us on that spectrum of like femininity, masculinity, what is expected of us of all those ranges. A lot of times men are expected to repress a lot of emotions. There's a lot of cultural messaging that kind of tells them that they're not allowed to express them. Jasmine can be something really helpful to have in the environment if someone is feeling very like closed up, where they haven't been able to express themselves. That can be a good way to get those emotions flowing and to help them be able to express them, to have a good cry, etc. So don't discount jasmine and these other floral aromas for men. They can have those same emotional benefits. We do have a lot of the same emotional needs, even though our messaging tends to be different, right? Okay, so let's take that information. We have looked at herbal blends. We have looked at citrus blends and floral blends. We're going to take some of those ideas and we're going to combine some for our personal blends. Yes. And I'm going to show you, before we start blending in all of these things, I want to show you just a few quick tips of how to do this. I'm going to stop share. Hopefully it doesn't get too tricky to reshare for us. I think it'll be all right. Okay, so when we are doing these two different activities now, let me move this over a little bit so I can see you better. Okay, so we're going to create a body mist. So those of you who have your little 10 ml bottles ready and your body mist solution, we're going to make this, but I want to give you kind of the instructions ahead of time before we get started so that it's really clear what the best practices are for putting one of these together. So in a 10 ml solution of body mist, it's best to use 4 to 6 drops of essential oil. For today's purposes, we're going to do 2 drops of one oil, 2 drops of another, because we're working on blending 2 oils together. You could also do 2, 2, 2, you could do 3 and 3, you can do up to 6 total drops in your little 10 ml bottle, okay? And what we want to do, best practices, is we will choose 2 essential oils based on our emotional needs. We will add the oils first into the bottle, right? So I have my cap removed and sitting up like this, so I'm not contaminating the sprayer. I'm going to choose 1 essential oil at a time. You don't have to put anything in right now. I'm just going to show. I'm going to take off 1 cap. I'm going to do diagonal, tap, tap, 2 drops of that one. I'm going to put the cap back on, put it away so I don't contaminate with other aromas. I'm going to take my other essential oil out, diagonal, tap, tap, 2 drops. And the reason why we put the essential oils in first is we want to make sure that we don't spill them out later. Because here what we're going to do is we have the essential oils. Now we're going to fill up the rest of the solution with our body mist. And that's easier for us to manage versus like putting more drops in at the top. Okay, so what I'm going to do then is use your funnel if you need it. Otherwise, if you have a steady hand, you'll probably be just fine. I'm shaky. So we're going to put this solution in, but we're not going to fill it all the way up to the top. Obviously, because we still have to put this in there, but also we need to leave a bubble of space at the top of our solution so that we can mix the solution later. Yes. So what a good practice is, you see where at the top of the label where this like starts to curve right here, you want to go about to just above the label, like where that curve is, to make sure that you're leaving a bubble of air for when we mix. Yes, so this is my 10 ml bottle. I'll put 2 drops of one oil, 2 drops of another, and then fill with my body mist slowly, carefully, to about just above the label to leave that air bubble. Okay, then what I will do is I will put on my cover. And sometimes when we say like mix, people want to like really shake it. And that's going to just like agitate too much our molecule. Like we don't want to mess with our molecules too much. So a good way to mix your essential oils is just, you can grab it with 2 hands or 1, but you just want to tip and back up, tip, back up, tip, back up. When you're doing this for the first time, do about 30 of those. Okay, it's a good like mindfulness practice too. Just breathe and do it about 30 times. And that's going to help really get your solution mixed. And then before you spray this, you'll want to just do a few of those again to make sure that your solution is mixed. Does that make sense? Yeah. And a good place to, like we said, you can spray your body mist solution on curtains, on bedding, on pajamas, on your body. A really good place to get the best absorption and quick effects from your aromatherapy in this way would be to spray your mist on your inside of your wrist, inside of your elbow, and on your chest. Think of it like your chest chakra, which would be like in the center of your chest. And also, if you need kind of that quick pick me up, you can spray on the palm of your hand, rub to activate your aroma even more, and take at least 3 or 4 deep breaths. Okay. So that's the best way. Those are best practices for our spray. We're also any questions, go ahead and add them to the chat. Just make sure you leave that air bubble. I feel like that's one of the most important things. Okay. And then when we are creating our roll-on, think of it the same way. We're going to first add our oils, again, one at a time, tap, tap, another one, put the cover on, grab the next one, tap, tap, and we'll have our 4 drops. Then we are going to take body oil. You can do these with body mist as well, but that solution will come out faster. Yes, so body oil, and we'll fill up, but again, make sure that you leave about a finger's width of space at the top of your roll-on bottle so that you have that air bubble and can mix your solution. Yes, the same rule will apply. We'll put our little cover on here. A great way to put this cover on without having to like smush it with your finger, because fingers are sometimes kind of dirty, is just to twist the cap on, and that will push it down and lock it in on its own. So again, just quick best practices for how to do these 2 demonstrations. Now I'm going to go ahead and give you some ideas for oils to mix for your spray and your roll-on. Are we ready for those? I'm going to share my screen again. And I'm going to check chat quick. Was anything that we needed? Lots of fun and happiness in the chat. Thank you guys. Okay, so share. And I think I have, for some reason, it's making me, I have to like close out of my speaker mode, right? And then it will let me reshare it again. I don't know why it does that, but oh, the fun with Zoom. Okay, so bear with me one moment. I normally have 2 big screens up, but we're doing a little remodeling in our office right now. And so I've been kind of clumsily working through my PowerPoint in a different way, which again, talk about emotions, right? Remodeling in your house in a key space that you use all the time. That comes with a few emotions. I should work on a new blend for my non-existent office space. Okay, so I think we should be good to go. Yeah. Let me know if anything's not up in full screen, but we should be good to go. Okay, so let's get our notes ready and pick out our favorite oil blends for different emotional needs. Sorry if I'm making you dizzy here. Okay, so our first major emotional need is stress, right? This is one you'll talk to a lot of people about out in the community. Now remember that there is physiological and psychological reactions to stress. Our body can react to it. Our mind can struggle to focus. We might have indigestion. We might have, lots of different things can happen from stress. And sometimes we have good stress, which is like the kind that keeps us alive, right? Like you're walking along the street and a dog jumps out and starts barking at you. You might like run away and get to a safe place, and then your stress goes away. Like that stress just kept you safe. You resolved the problem. It went away. Ta-da. That's a good kind of stress. That's the kind of stress that keeps us going every day and keeps us alive. There's also the bad kind, the kind that really messes with our body and our brain, which is the chronic kind of stress. And that's the stress that keeps causing that reaction of like a dog barking and you jump and you run away like that. Your body's reaction, when that keeps happening from chronic factors such as, I don't know, traffic, work, neighbors, your kids, I don't know. There's lots of different things that just keep coming at us they keep coming at us all day long. And those can really have chronic effects that affect our digestion, our sleep, and other key bodily functions. So when you have someone talking about stress is causing issues with concentration, you will want to recommend that they blend mint and our fresh blend so that they can be more focused. If you have someone that's saying stress is causing insomnia, have them blend patchouli with lavender so that they can really feel more regulated. They can let those emotions from their stress flow freely at the end of the day, and it's going to help promote more restful sleep. For exhaustion, you can recommend True Love and rosemary. So someone's feeling really worn out, burnt out, True Love and rosemary. True Love, remember that that has a great blend of essential oils that boost our mood and balance our mood. So it's not just for a romantic environment, right? It's also for loving yourself and taking good care of yourself and kind of recharging your batteries, right? So True Love with rosemary, great for kind of recharging your batteries at the end of a really exhausting day. And for people experiencing irritability due to stress. This is one of my key factors, and I use this blend all the time. Jasmine and orange are great for, again, letting us calm back down and feel like we're not feeling so conflicted about so many things, right? So we can kind of take what's coming and negotiate meeting with other people and feel less irritable. So jasmine and orange, go ahead and take a screenshot or write down your favorite blends for these different symptoms of stress that we tend to experience. All right, another really big need for aromatherapy for people can be mourning and loss and grief. And so it's a really natural response to loss, whether it's loss of a loved one, loss of a job, loss of something that we love. You might experience it with your kids if they lose their teddy bear, right? Like it's like that sense of despair, right? After something happens that we did not want to happen. So it's a psychological and social process. We know that grief has different stages. One moment. Okay, so one of the, we know that mourning goes through a cycle, and our body goes, and our body and brain go through a lot of different things, such as we feel like we're in crisis, we go through denial, then it kind of transforms into that indifference and anger about something that's happened, negotiation of like, if I do this, maybe this will be better, and then finally through acceptance. Now, through that cycle, that cycle of grief or mourning, a lot of times people can get kind of stuck in one stage or another, and they have a hard time letting those emotions flow. So aromatherapy can be really helpful for that process. So think of it as someone who's going through the kind of that negotiation stage of the grief cycle. You could recommend lavender and rosemary to be blended together. If someone is feeling kind of that indifference, anger, irritability stage of this process, you could recommend jasmine and orange, similar to what we talked about with the stress and irritability. People who are in that acceptance stage and are trying to just enjoy their memories of something or of someone, and kind of accept that and keep moving on with their life, lavender and jasmine would be a great aromatherapy synergy for that. And for those feelings of grief, kind of like those initial stages, True Love is another one that's really good at kind of helping us feel more balanced and centered, and let our emotions flow as well. So write down any of those blends that you would like to try for you or someone that you know, for that sense of mourning, loss, and grief. Okay, and another major emotional need that we tend to focus on with aromatherapy is insomnia. This affects a huge percentage of people here in the United States. And they think of it as like the inability to fall asleep, to stay asleep, and it can really affect the quality and quantity of those different key stages of sleep that we need. So if you have someone who's experiencing chronic insomnia, recommend True Love and lavender. So that's a great one to have them put in the body mist and spray on their bedding at night. Or if they want less aroma, they can spray it on their curtains, so it's not like right in their face when they go to bed. But that's a great one for body mist. And if you're talking to someone who's having trouble getting good quality sleep, they're like, I feel like I'm getting up a lot at night, I don't feel rested, lavender, orange, and jasmine would be a great blend for that as well. These are ones that I put in my diffuser on my nightstand often as well. I think in a lot of our kids' bedrooms too, lavender and orange is a very kid-friendly, pleasant aroma that helps them calm down at the end of the day. Okay, and for lack of concentration. So if you have someone talking about the inability to focus their attention on a person or a stimulus, they're really fatigued and stressed. Happens a lot in the workplace. Different synergies to recommend would be like the fresh blend, peppermint, and rosemary. Those are going to be your key herbal essential oils for concentration: mint, rosemary, and the fresh blend. Okay, and for burnout, this is probably one of your biggest, the biggest needs that people are stressed, or they talk about stress and burnout. Think of this as people who are students, teachers, healthcare workers, caregivers, people who work with a lot of conflict resolution and problem solving in their workday throughout the day. They kind of end up feeling like deflated balloons at the end of the day, like nothing has filled them back up. They've just given, and they are burnt out. It's hard to find joy in what they're doing because, you know, they feel really exhausted, really anxious, tense, etc. So when you have someone talking about that tension and fatigue related to burnout, recommend orange and lavender. It's very good for calming, so that they can get rest at the end of the day, etc. For that worn down, exhaustion, deflated balloon feeling, fresh and orange. And for mental exhaustion, true love and rosemary to kind of fortify them and help them feel centered again. All right, so let's put these different blends to work. Hopefully you have chosen some key oils that you would like to put into practice. And I want you to choose 2 of your favorite blends. We're going to use them for a body mist and for a roll-on, and then we're going to do the massage technique that you can use at home and to teach to others. So go ahead and grab your body mist and your 10 ml spray bottle and 2 different essential oils that you think would be a good blend for carrying around with you to spray maybe on your bedding, on the curtains in your home, on your upholstery, or that you want to spray on your wrist, inside of your elbow, chest, or to breathe it in. What would be something you'd like to be able to take along with you everywhere? I think for mine, I'm going to do the blend of fresh and orange for exhaustion and feeling worn down. So, but go ahead and look at your notes. What is a blend of 2 different oils that you'd like to try? And we're just going to put our blend together. Okay, so I'm going to take my 10 ml bottle. And I'm going to use my funnel because, like I said, I'm just a little, well, maybe I'll save my funnel for my roll-on. That's a smaller space. Okay, so I'm going to take my first oil. For me, it's orange. I'm going to take 1 cap off at a time so I don't mix my oils and contaminate them. And I'm going to put it at an angle, 1, 2. Orange comes out quickly on my bottle. So I have my 2 drops are ready to go. Okay. You can do 3 and 3 if you want like a stronger blend, go for it. I'm going to do 2 and 2. This is a good thing if you have like a new customer or someone who is using a brand new aroma that their nose hasn't acclimated to yet. 2 and 2 could be good for a little bit lighter blend. So here, fresh, 2 drops, 1, 2. Okay. I can't believe I haven't had fresh at my house all this time. It is an amazing blend. This is like, it's like tea tree and is it tea tree, mint, lemon, all my favorite things. All right, now I'm going to take my, oh, and here I can stop sharing. I can stop sharing so you guys can see what we're doing here. I'm just gonna make sure I don't forget anything. Okay, so I have my 2 drops of each oil, which is a pretty small amount. As we know, these are super concentrated. Now I'm going to fill my bottle up, but again, not all the way to the top, just above the label so that I'm not even all the way up this little curve here. I need to leave a space for mixing later. Take your time, no rush. Okay. And then we can go ahead and put our cap on, make sure it's secure. Going to put my cap on my body mist and go ahead and just do your 30 mixes like this. I'm not going to do all 30 for time's sake, but yes. Okay, so here we go. And now when we want to apply this new blend, go ahead and take a sniff. We're going to, like I said, if you want to apply it right on your body, inside of wrist, inside of elbow, chest, or on the palm of your hand, rub to activate. Oh, it's so good. My brain is so happy right now. Okay, and go ahead and rub your elbows and wrists together as well. Oh, I really like this one. This is the first time I've made this one for my house. Okay, I'm glad I tried it. So that was for me, orange and fresh to help with feeling worn down and exhausted. I'm a mother of 2 small children and they're here all the time. So, okay. And then we're also going to go ahead and share in the chat, if you'd like, what you have put together in your first body mist. I'll give you a chance to keep going if you are still working on yours. Okay. And again, remember that since this is the body mist, you go ahead and spray it on fabrics and things like that, and that's totally fine. They absorb really quickly, and it's not going to leave like any oily residue because it's pure essential oil and the echinacea blend in the body mist. Okay, are we ready to go? I'm going to move on to the body oil in our roll-on. So we're going to pick another blend that you'd like to try. I'm going to do another one that I haven't tried yet that I just learned in this workshop with Anna that I want to do with you. So I'm going to do True Love and Orange. This is great for kind of think of it as like true love. Sometimes we always say that's for like romance, but think of it as the most important love in your relationship with yourself or anyone else is love for yourself, right? So don't be afraid to use true love just to pamper yourself and to help yourself feel better as well. So I'm going to use True Love and Orange in my roll-on. Okay. Oh, I'm already breaking my rules. I just took 2 caps off. Don't tell anyone. Okay. So we're going to go 2 drops here of True Love. 1, 2. I think patchouli kind of slows this one down a little bit. It's a little bit thicker solution. Okay. And then 2 drops of orange. 2, or 3, because it's a little faster. Okay. And like I said, you can do 3 of each if you want a little bit stronger blend. Then we're going to fill up the rest of the roller with our body oil. This is sometimes, niñas, arriba, por favor. This is sometimes easier to pour because it's a thicker solution. But remember, as you fill up your bottle, you don't want to go all the way up. Leave about a finger's width of space before even the twisty part of your bottle. Ahorita voy. They're asking for candy. Do you think that's a good idea at this time of night, guys? I'm going to say no. I think that's going to cause all the stress that this massage is going to take away. Go upstairs, please. No. Arriba. Okay, ready. And I left a little bit of extra space because mine is slightly bigger. I think mine is slightly bigger than 10 mils, but that can be your roll-on ready to go. Okay. Oh, thank you for your kind comments in the chat. And then we're going to go ahead, once you've put your drops in and your body oil, go ahead and put that roller on. And if you don't want to mess around with pushing it straight down, just set it in there and put the cover on. And that will push it straight down for you. You can just give it a little push and a twist and it will be ready to go. Okay. So hopefully you all have chosen your 2 new blends that you'll be using this next week and weekend. And we're going to show you how to use the roll-on specifically for a type of massage that's going to help with anxiety and insomnia. Yeah, so I will show this method that Anna shared with us that was really helpful. And I just have to reshare our screen. Give me 1 moment so that you can kind of see how this works. Again, sorry for my slow clicks here in Zoom. Okay, but that will give you a chance. Any of those of you who are still working on your roll-on, go ahead and finish that up. Okay, PowerPoint. Okay, are you in speaker notes or can you see my full screen presentation?
Yes, we can see all your presentation with your notes.
With my notes. Okay, I don't know why it makes me close that out. There's got to be a trick. Maybe someone message me a trick later. Those of you who are Power Pro experts. I have my husband's laptop and it's not the one I normally use. So from current slide. All right, I'll try this one more time. I have a master's in educational technology. Can you believe that? And here I am struggling with Zoom, but we've got it. We've got it. Good thing I have so much aromatherapy going on around me and all these kind aromatherapy people in the chat. I like it. Okay, so that should be ready to go. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, we're good? Perfect. Thank you, Cynthia. All right, so we're going to work on a quick massage practice that you can do for yourself and teach your customers that is really helpful for just insomnia, anxiety, and just that little pampering that we need on a regular basis. I hope you came in your PJs because after this, you'll probably be ready to go right to bed. So we're going to use something called acupressure massage therapy. Think of it as like if any of you have ever tried acupuncture, right? That's puncture like with needles. This is like a needleless version of those same points that can help stimulate energy channels in our body and help us feel better. And don't stress about every single little detail. Just enjoy the massage. You will get what you get from it. And I am happy. I just learned this as well recently from Anna because she's a great presenter. So we're going to do this together and try not to stress. A few important things though are we want clean face. Actually, I'm going to remove makeup from my acupressure points because I still have makeup on from today. But acupressure points that we're going to be using are here between our eyebrows. I can show you with my micellar makeup remover from Vital Use. Okay, so I'm going to remove makeup, which is amazing, by the way, if you haven't used it, from here between my eyebrows, from this point right under my nose, my chin, earlobes, nape of neck. And if you want to feel like, because our neck is a big space, right? If you kind of move your head forward a little bit, you know where that little indentation is here at the back of your neck, like by your hairline. That's the point on the nape of our neck that we want to use. So kind of move your neck until you feel that little indentation. That's our acupressure point on the nape of our neck. And then our last point is at the very top of the crown of our head. So make like a little headband with your fingers from your ears up and put them together, that very top point of your head. That's our acupressure point on our head. So between our eyebrows, right under our nose, chin, and earlobes, and right at the top of the crown of our head, those are the points we're going to be using, okay? Now, make sure you're not wearing makeup, especially in those points, and we want to remove earrings because we're going to be using our roll-on blend for parts of this massage. Yes, so we want to be, and I'm going to go through that in a little bit, but first we'll start with just the easy form. If you don't have any oils on your hands at all right now, you might just want to do a little spray with like your body mist that you made. Just do a little spray and kind of rub it on your hands. We don't want to have a really oily substance on our hands when we're massaging the face because it is a delicate tissue, but we're going to just have a little bit on our hands to kind of have them moisturized and ready to go, okay? Now, for this first part of the massage, let's see, I think I can, are we all clear on the acupressure points? If I remove the image for now, I think we should be able to, I don't think I'll forget any of this. This is, like I said, this massage is kind of new for me. So here, well, I think we'll be okay like that. All right, so go ahead and follow along with me. I'll take the screen off for now. We have a little bit of essential oil on our hand from our body mist solution. We're ready to go. Yes? Okay, and we're going to take just the tips of our fingers, kind of like this, and just do a gentle massage, starting at the center of our forehead and go out and repeat that 3 times. Make sure you're breathing throughout. So we did 1, 2, 3. Okay. Do the same thing starting from your nose and working down around your face like this. 1, 2, 3. I love that sensation. Isn't that awesome? You can do again by your cheeks. So again, starting kind of here and going down and around. 1, 2, 3. And then the last part will be down here by our chin, right? So 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, a great method for self massage is just do things in sets of 3, right? Now we're going to do another method for acupuncture, which is just like gentle pinching of certain points. So we're going to have 2 fingers with our thumb like this. And we're going to find the point here, like where there's like a bend in our jawline. So right here at the bend of our jawline, and we're just going to lightly pinch in that area and breathe. Okay. Now we're going to find the spot where our mouth Like if you were a puppet, right? Where your lines would come down right here on your chin. We're going to pinch here. Okay. And then the last is, let me make sure I'm not forgetting a point. Okay, and there, and then let's go back to our earlobes as well. So we're going to do pinch. Okay, let's do that again. We're going to do a total of 3 times. So let's do jaw. Where our mouth meets down here at our chin. Okay, and earlobes again. Okay, so that's the first section of our massage. We've done the finger taps, forehead, nose, cheeks, and chin. We've done the pinch of our jaw and right here where our mouth comes down here on the sides of our chin in our earlobes. Now we're going to do those acupressure points using our roll-on. Now, don't get wild with this. Listen carefully to these instructions because when we're using essential oils on our face, obviously we don't want to just like roll them all over the place, right? We want to have a controlled small amount and we want to have like the pressure on those points. So just take your roll-on and do a practice round on the palm of your hand. We want to push with light pressure and just do a spin like this. You're not even moving the roller. You're just like a joystick moving the roller around like this a little bit, the bottle, I should say. Yes. So notice that a pretty small amount of oil will come out of your roller when you do that versus if you were to draw a big circle, more comes out. Yes. So do not do the big circle. We're just going to press and do a small rotation like this. Yes. All right. So let's practice that. When we do this, we're going to use our acupuncture points in order from bottom to top. And I have my list to make sure I don't accidentally forget one. Okay, so we're going to do our acupuncture, and I'm going to just do it with my finger first to show you. We're going to take our roll-on, and we're going to press on our chin, slight pressure, and we're going to breathe in as we do the pressure. And then we're going to breathe out as we do just like the few little circles like a joystick. And it feels so good. And you don't have to do that 3 times because we're already breathing in and out, like you're already applying that pressure for an extended period of time. Okay. Then we're going to move up to our nose. So right below our nose, we'll do the pressure point with our roll on. Breathe out while we do the joystick. Yes. That's a very technical term, joystick. Okay, no, back in the old school video game days, right? Okay, earlobes, we'll then put, the men will start on their right, women will start on our left earlobe, and you're going to do the same thing. And then switch. Then we move up to the point between our eyebrows. And then to the highest point, which is the crown of our head. Again, make your little headband right here. Pressure to breathe in, joystick to breathe out. Yes? Now, that's the first part of our massage for insomnia. If someone is also having anxiety, we'll do that same thing, but at this point right where your hairline starts. So we'll do the same press right there. Okay, so I wanted to give you explanation ahead of time so that we don't get wild with our rollers. It's that you can actually just sit back and enjoy it. Okay, so I'm going to try to not talk during this. Can you guys just like look at me and do your massage? Because I feel like it's more relaxing if we just breathe and do it. Are you ready? Rollers ready, not making big circles, pressure, joystick. Yes? Okay, let's start at our chin. Remember, breathe in, pressure, breathe out, joystick. Yeah? Okay, start at our chin. Okay. Nose. Okay, we're moving to earlobe. Left if you're women, right if you're a man. Start left for women. Okay, other ear. Okay, moving to the next highest point between our eyebrows. Oh, wait, try not to get your eye. My eyebrows are apparently slippery. Okay. And then moving farther up to the crown of our head. Check with your fingers if you need to. Pressure, breathe in. I can really feel that one. Do you guys really feel the crown of your head? And then if you are having anxiety or just to try it out, go ahead and go to right where your hairline starts. Pressure and breathe the same. Okay, how are we feeling? Let's finish with, go ahead and put a little bit of your roll on. Now you can do big circles on the palm of your hand. You can also do, this is also a good pressure point for like reflexology. So go ahead and press right in the center of your palm. That same action is going to stimulate a lot of your organs and your bodily responses as well. So go ahead and do a big circle, but also that pressure point will be helpful. Rub your aroma and breathe in. All right. Go ahead and tell us how you feel in the chat, or just take a moment to reflect on how you feel. Man, do I love the pressure point at the top of my head. That feels so nice, doesn't it? And how easy is this to do during a spa demonstration with your customers, or to create a quick video for people to try at home? This is a really easy way for people to experience aromatherapy at its best when combined with other alternative or complementary therapies. So, wow, this is such a good practice. I'm so happy that Anna was able to teach us this new massage technique. Go ahead and let us know how you're feeling in the chat. And we will be wrapping things up for today on that relaxing note. Yes, I'll leave the acupressure points up one more time in case you need it. Just remember that we start bottom and we go slowly up to the top of our head. Okay. All right. So that is our main information for our aromatherapy workshop today. Cynthia, should I share this last slide, or do you have that one? Let's see, I can share it.
I do have it. So
You do have it. Okay, I'll leave that for you then. Okay.
okay, so I just want to say thank you, Angela, for being here with us and sharing all of this amazing information and giving us this amazing workshop.